Okay, Dr. Genevieve. So we'll go straight into it. Okay. And our first question here is, first of all, tell us, tell who Dr. Genevieve is. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Okay. So Dr. Genevieve is a young African woman. I describe myself as an authentic African woman because I'm proud to be an African. And I'm born to a family from the Akan traditional, I'll say, part of Ghana. So I'm an Akan. My dad is a traditional ruler, so a chief. So Genevieve comes from a royal home. Both parents are royals. My mom is a queen mother who did not accept to be a queen mother, but my dad is a chief. He's been a chief for the past 26 years. Genevieve is second to 5 children. We have 3 boys and 2 girls. I'm the first of the girls. And I'll say I took up leadership responsibilities quite early. My mom used to travel a lot whilst we were young. So I always say that our last born, who is now a big boy, like 32 years, I took care of him virtually when he was a baby. I was about 12 years when I started being, I'll say, a mother to him and a mother to my younger siblings and even my elder brother. And I'll say a mother to my father as well, because I was taking care of my father. So Genevieve took up the role of a leader at an early stage because my mother had to travel for greener pastures to come help the home. Genevieve is a Christian. Genevieve believes that nothing is impossible. I mean, once you put your mind to it. And Genevieve is a strong advocate for leadership, especially youth and women leadership, development of people's mindsets, or recalibration of the young African youth mindset when it comes to leadership and service delivery. Genevieve has been a banker for the past, I'll say, a decade and a half. And then also I write, and I'm very passionate about financial empowerment. I reiterate that a lot. Financial, not just empowerment of women, but financial empowerment. So that together, when we bring our bits and our men bring their bits, it makes life beautiful. Diversity makes it beautiful. So basically, that's who Genevieve is. I can't hear you.
Okay, you need to unmute.
Oh, I was on mute, sorry. Okay, are you still a banker?
Full-time, no. I still do stuff as a banker. I mean, I consult in the realms of financial stuff. I help people build their wealth. I train bankers, but I'm not a full-time banker like I used to be a couple of years ago.
Okay, you work for Fidelity Bank. Is that the Nigerian Fidelity Bank?
No. This is a Ghanaian-owned Fidelity Bank. So Fidelity Bank used to be a discount house, and now, so yours is a green one, and ours is the orange Fidelity.
Okay. Okay then. Yeah, I think you've answered part. The second question was, which part of Ghana are you from, and what was it like growing up? But I think you've answered most of that already. So we'll go to the next.
Okay, I just need to put this across. I'm sorry, I might not go exactly according to maybe how you programmed your question, because I'm a bit unconventional. So I would say it as it is, and then you take out what.
That's fine.
And then if you need any follow-up, please feel free to ask me.
No problem at all. That makes it more natural anyway. So okay, so I'll go to the next one we have here, which is your profile is quite. Some of my questions are quite long, so please bear with me. Your profile is quite impressive, and it reveals a heavy leaning towards business administration, management, and leadership. Was it always your ambition to become a business administration expert? That's number one. 2, what led you to taking this career path?
Thank you. So I wanted to actually become a pediatrics. I'll say a pediatrician.
Okay.
I wanted to take care of kids when they are sick. So that's what I really wanted to become. I did science. So my background is actually science. I did elective maths, physics, chemistry, biology. That's what I did in secondary school. Right. However, I believe in the saying that when life throws lemons at you, you make lemonade out of it. So I always say I'm a disappointed medical doctor, but lo and behold, with focus, I have become a doctor, not a medical doctor, but I'm still a doctor. Yes. Okay, so growing up, I think I always wanted to read the sciences because I was really skewed towards kids. And I wanted to take care of them, especially when they are not well. Like I said, I started taking care of my siblings at an early age. So I saw it all when they were sick and getting them medication from the hospital and taking care of them and all that. The joy it brings to me when they are fine. So I did science in Agri Memorial Secondary School. However, I didn't come out too well in terms of biology. I had a D in biology. And for you to become a medical student or for you to take biological sciences at the University of Ghana, you needed at least a B in biology. So the point was that although I did so well, I had a B in elective maths, a B in physics, a B in chemistry. I had a D in what do you call it, in biology. So I couldn't get biological sciences. And I remember that year I chose just Legon, University of Ghana, because I was too sure I would get it. So when I didn't get it and I had they gave me mathematical sciences. So I had the opportunity to now go back and study and pass again, maybe get a B too. But I think I felt, no, I had done well. So why do I have to write? People who write again are people who who don't, that's how I thought. But I think my mother kept talking to me. So at the point I decided to write again. However, although I wrote again, I wrote a year after. So my ambition was, okay, fine. I will try again. Maybe I'll get another school too. But somewhere along the line, because my mother was not here, she advised that she's head of a school called GIMPA. And it's like, you can still work and go to that school. So she thinks, since I want to do something whilst I'm waiting for that 1 year, I wanted to read something else. So I did something with ICM. ICM is International Chartered Marketers or Chartered Managers, something like that. So I did a general course with administration. So hotel, hospitality management, front office management, customer service. So I just did that course because I didn't want to be idle. And then out of that course, I decided to take up a role somewhere. So I think just in between when my mom told me about GIMPA, I said, okay, so maybe I will just try GIMPA and see. So the ICM course allowed me to get a front role or a front office role at Ghana Commercial Bank. It was a contract role. So when I got that opportunity, I'm like, okay, it feels good to work. Then I applied for GIMPA. And then GIMPA, I think their age limits, I wasn't up to because you needed to be about 25 years old, and I was just about 21. So I decided to take the exams and all that. Fast forward, I passed the exams, I passed my interview, so I got admission to GIMPA. So I used a stone to kill two birds, let me put it like that. So I was working at Commercial Bank as a contract staff at the back office with the qualification I earned whilst I was waiting to rewrite my exams. And then, because my mother prompted me that there is a school called GIMPA, and I tried and I got admission to it, I realized that I could still be in Commercial Bank and work and still go to school. So that is how my business admin path started. So working in the bank, I enjoyed, I saw how bankers behave, they were all prim and proper, all neatly dressed, beautifully dressed. I loved the environment. And my father was a banker, so I'm sure it wasn't a big deal. Yeah. So I think at a point I felt
Yeah.
Although I wrote the exams again, at a point, I think I felt God has his own way of redirecting us. I was enjoying the work and I was enjoying going to school. So I think somewhere along the line, I just decided that, look, let me toe the business admin part. So GIMPA, I did business admin, bachelor's degree in business admin. And then I moved on to do marketing. Although business admin, I specialized in marketing at my second degree at University of Ghana Business School. And so I'll say that is how the path of business admin turned out after I decided not to go back to the sciences again.
Interesting. On a slightly lighter note, I remember when I was a kid, I think maybe 6, 7, I said I always told everybody I wanted to become an astronaut. Lo and behold, I turned out to be somebody who can't stand heights and somebody who's absolutely terrible at the sciences as well. So that was as I said, just on a lighter note, I ended up doing something completely different to what I said I was going to do when I was a kid. Thank you very much for that, Doctor. So my next question is, because of the propensity, this is a long question. Because of the propensity for African political leaders for corruption, mismanagement, having negligible sense of accountability, it has been suggested in Nigeria that the study of ethics be made compulsory in the school curriculum. Your doctoral project paper was partly titled The Impact of Customer Relationship Management on Customer Satisfaction. Now, what do you think about adding the study of customer service to what our politicians and our leaders should learn before taking up leadership? Because at the end of the day, they don't really see us as their customers.
That's a heavy one, but I would take it. So first of all, I'll look at it from the ethics question or the ethics part of it. I think for me, leadership, I mean, you've spoken about some of the challenges Africa we are having in terms of accountability and all that, corruption and all that. I'll first of all like to say that it's not just Africa though. Worldwide, it's just that there is a heavy lean on Africa because our systems and structures are not well put in place. So it's easily seen, and the accountability part, because elsewhere, when we see that a public officer or a leader has, in a way, skewed towards corruption, there is that level of high accountability. So you're able to tell, you're able to put them to test, you're able to, in some cases, even jail them. Whereas, unfortunately, on our parts, there is too much freedom. So we are not able to tie them when they are at fault. So that's how I just wanted to put that across. The second bit is that with ethics, I think
what's up? Hello, Doctor, are you still there? Adi?
Yeah, I'm here. Like she's her network is frozen.
From her side.
Yes, it's from her side. I think she's got an outage.
Oh, okay. Because then it went very dark.
Yeah. Possible. So this will let me know whether Ghana what if they experience power outage.
Exactly. It's not only us, it's not only Nepal.
We're not alone.
We're not alone, exactly.
Just like she's saying about corruption now. I mean, we're not alone in Africa.
Yes, it's true.
Only that our own is just, we do it with a lot of impunity.
So much impunity. Because she probably touched the fact that, she's back. Okay.
Yeah.
Is she back? I'm only seeing 2 of us here.
Yeah, she's coming in. She's joining.
Okay.
Yeah, I've accepted her into the meeting. She was in the meeting. So I try to mute as much as possible because I never can tell which part of the interview will be good enough to actually go video, audio. Yeah. We may just be able to find that.
Okay.
Well, she's still trying to join. It's taking longer than.
I know she was struggling with it the first time around too.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about impunity.
Yes. You know, she touched on something there. You know, she didn't say exactly, but you know, part of the problem is, like she said, is structure. It's also the fact that, you know, structure doesn't, because there's lack of structure here. It's not easy to hold those people accountable, and it gives them so much room to maneuver, which they can't do so easily over there. You understand? The structures prevents them from doing that. You know, so much, like for instance, I look at Donald Trump. Look at what Donald Trump trying to do in America. If it was not for structures into place, that guy was just done anything. And even with structures, look at what he did.
True.
Look how far he went. You understand?
True. And again, are you there? Because your screen is frozen as well. Hello? Hello?
Structures, at the end of the day, they was able to prevent it from going as far as.
Hello, Mr. Daps. Hello?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know I was still on mute. Sorry. Yeah, she called me now. She said that she MTN is having issues at her place. Yeah, so she's trying to join with something else now.
Okay, she's back.
Yeah, she's coming on.
Hello. Technology. I'm so sorry.
No problem at all. It certainly happens, and it happens a lot here too. So
you know that happens. That happens also in Nigeria, especially when there is power outage.
Yeah, when I was at the conference, the lights kept going on and off and on and off at the conference. It was serious.
Do you experience power outages in Ghana?
Oh yes, we do.
Oh, okay. So we're not alone.
Oh, not at all. Just it's more rampant. It happens just anytime, anywhere, no announcement, nothing.
None whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it can happen 10 times a day.
Yeah, just like the corruption conversation we're having, and the belief and the hope that someday, sometime, we'll have structures around it to improve on things. We hope the power situation too will improve, and we'll be able to do the right things that, you know, our own children would not be able to look back and say, oh, this is the experience that our parents were having and they too are now having. We hope it to improve.
Amen.
All right.
Amen.
So let's do.
So just as I was saying,
yes,
I think ethics is a subject matter that not just kids but everybody should have access to. Ethics is in a way trying to help your mindset, one, to do things right, no matter who is watching you. So integrity. So you know that you have to do it this way, not because Genevieve is watching you, not because somebody is overseeing what you're doing, but because it's ingrained in you. You need to get it done. It's embedded, so you get it done. So I think that is why I would say that ethics as a subject should be taught right from day one, from schools. In banking, we have banking ethics. So you know there is something called confidentiality. You're not supposed to tell Bola what your wife's accounts look like. Once you don't sign on it, I don't have any business, no matter what, even if you're my father, I don't have to disclose it. So that is ethics. So I think that part, when we start teaching our kids ethics, right from day one, they grow up with it and they understand that, oh, okay, so there are values that's aside my cultural values, aside my personal values, I need to know that if I live in a society and I'm thinking about myself and my family, I should also think about others, because the ripple effect, when others are not okay, what the ripple effect is going to be on me, my family, and loved ones around me is going to be exponential. So that is the mindset. And I think that is one role that ethics play. Another thing I would like to say with regards to the second part of the question is customer centricity is also something that applies to everyone. And for leaders, for government officials, for public servants, for private organizations, for business leaders, whoever you are, I think customer centricity is something that you should know, understand, and work with. So I'll say my subject topic, like you said, it was partly customer centricity. In a way, goes together with customer satisfaction. Because if I'm not happy with you, if you are not focusing on me, there is no way you can satisfy me. So as a public servant, as a politician, remember that the people you are serving, because you can't lead if you're not a servant. You need to be able to serve before you lead. So as a leader, for you to lead and lead effectively and efficiently, I think you need to be customer centric. You need to understand the people you are working for or the people you are serving. Once you understand that my leadership, in a way, is measured by the satisfaction of my people, what happens is that you become more skewed towards driving joy in satisfying your customers, here, your citizens, here, your team members. So that is how I would want to answer the second part. So I would say yes, in a way, I agree. And what can be done? I think what can be done is leaders who are going to take leadership positions. I have always held this position that right from day one, we are not grooming leaders. And that is why, unfortunately, we don't have the stock or the pool of people that have been brought up, have been groomed, have been nurtured in a way that when they take up leadership roles in Africa, we will all be happy, because the self-centeredness, the take it alone, acquire it alone, enjoy it alone syndrome is so much embedded in us. And unfortunately, that is what our kids are seeing. That is what our youth are seeing. So they grow up, they take these leadership positions, and they also do the same, because that is what they saw being done. But the question I pose always to leaders is that when we see a problem, how do we fix it? How do we solve it? How do we become problem solvers and not just complaining? So in my small way, what have I done? I have a leadership club. It starts from 5 years to 12 years. The whole idea is that I think as an African youth growing up, I saw a few good things. It's not lost. It's just a lot of infiltration of culture that we have skewed towards too much. That is taking some of our values away. So now, instead of being individualistic, instead of being more of family-centered and more focused on community, we are becoming more individualistic as a society. And that is not the African culture. That is not part of our values. So in my own small way, I think I am teaching these young people how to work in teams, how to work together, how to use collaboration instead of competition to work together. I'm also trying to embed in them the God-centeredness. Whatever, I am a Christian, so I'll say God. But that spiritual, that supreme being centeredness, that whatever you do, remember that there is a day of accountability. That is my belief. Whatever you do, remember that you need to think about the next person, because even if it does not affect you, it would affect your generation. So that is the kind of mindset. And I think if we all take it upon ourselves in our own little way or small way, start impacting in this minor way, we might not see the real effect today, but in a few years to come, these children that I'm taking them through, they would also grow. They'll become adults. They'll take up leadership position in schools, at workplaces, on the societal level, on community levels, national level, international level. And because they've been brought up in this way, it's embedded in them. It's part of them. So then ethics comes in, values comes in, and then they would understand that I am actually working for the good of everyone, not for myself and for my family alone. So that is how I want us to look at some of these things, so that we don't take them in isolation. or we don't take them as standalone.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I like that. I like how you work the two together. Thank you so much. Okay, the next question we have here is a 2022 UNESCO report put the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria at approximately 20 million. That's a staggering 20% of our population, the highest globally as well. Ghana is doing far better with just 1.2 million out of school, which comes to about 3%, 3.6% of the population. What do you think can be done to reduce these numbers still, whether in Ghana or any African country? But you can speak about Ghana since that's where you reside.
Okay, so first of all, what I'll say is that Nigeria, in terms of socio-economic issues, in terms of even your population, it's way bigger than us, right?
Yeah.
So as much as we are doing better, I don't want us to be the benchmark, because Nigeria, in terms of your population, you're like 10 times a lot of countries.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as much as maybe per dynamics per percentages, yes, 3.6 in Ghana, per the report, 20. What I want to say is that for me, socio-political issues are different. Economic issues are different. So we don't have to take them in isolation. The point is that what are some of the best practices that we can all learn from other people who are doing much better? And I want to even look at the international scenes, not even Africa. What are some of the things that, in terms of education, the developed world have done better and are still doing better that we can learn from, whether Ghana or Nigeria or any part of Africa? The first thing I would like to say is that, for instance, with Ghana, let me talk about the good ones and all that first, then I'll start my general stuff. So with regards to Ghana, I think there is now free SHS. So every young child who is of school-going age has the right to go to school for free, no school fees. I don't know if Nigeria is doing that. So that is one good thing that you can take from us. However, even at this point, quality for me is important. It is not just giving access to education, but the quality of education is the question that we have to ask. Are we getting the quality that we should have? Because it is free. That is the first question. What I know is that developed worlds, yes, have made it in such a way that every community or every state has some level of or access to education. But I can proudly tell you that where I live in the US, if I want my son to go to a particular school and it is maybe 5 minutes drive or it's up to 15 minutes drive away, I'm not good with using historic, what do you call it, like meters, and I can't use those ones,
miles or kilometers.
Yeah, miles and all that. So my point is that my son, who is 8 years and is of school-going age, cannot go beyond a particular jurisdiction in my neighborhood. If I live in the state of Connecticut when I go there, and I want my son to go to probably a school in Connecticut, but maybe Stanford or Middlesex, I cannot let my son who lives in East Hartford go to school there. Do you know why? Because the tax that those people in that maybe Glastonbury pays is more and more, like 3-4 times than what I pay in my neighborhood. So they are paying high tax to make their system better. So if you want your child to go there, what the scenario I always use is that I would prefer to live in a high-end community where my child can have access to free education, and riding on the back of my tax that I pay as a mother or as a parent, and the tax of other people who live in the community. So that is how they've structured theirs. So my point is that if we as Africans, we want to adapt free education, let's look at it well and let's do it well. That's all I want to say. I don't want to go too much into politics, but let's learn well, let's adapt the right things, and let's make it better so that the quality we are seeing, we would see it better. Another thing I would like to say is that infrastructure is a serious problem, and that is a challenge across Africa. A teacher who is passionate about teaching lives probably 20-30 kilometers from where the school is. The roads are so bad. By the time the teacher sits in Okada a public transport to get to school. The teacher is worn out, tired.
Yeah.
How then does a teacher deliver quality to our children? So infrastructure across Africa is a problem. And this is something that I think is affecting our educational system. Another thing is that young children working, so child labor. In most of our African communities, parents don't see the need to take their children to school because you can go to the farm. Although we've evolved as nations, we become better than maybe some years back. People are still living in deprived communities. And this 20% and this 3.6% that we are counting per the UNESCO data, remember the majority of our communities are still deprived. They are still undeveloped. And these parents will think that, why would I take my child to school if the child can go and sell me something in the market and make me money to be able to take care of my child and other people in the family? Why then do I need to work myself and take a child to school? And after all, the next question is that even when this child finishes school, what job is available for the child to do? So they don't see the need. So what I would say is that as a nation, as leaders, I would want to focus more on leaders because we are all leaders. What the leaders can do, we can also start doing it in our small way. What can we all think to do to improve? What are some of the incentives that we would use to make sure that parents who think that there is no point in letting my child go to school, even if it's free, what's the point? Because after school, there is no job. So why should I worry and take my child to school? Why won't I rather allow this child to help me in the market or go to the farm and get me something so that I can use that to feed them? So that is another thing I would say we should look at. The next thing I would say is that when it comes to even the packages, the teacher's salary, the allowances that we pay these teachers, are there anything to go by? Would your son or daughter love to finish school, education, go through all the pains of going to school and come and be a teacher? There is nothing moves our young people to even go back to the classroom to teach. They would all want to rather go and do any kind of job outside our nations just to be able to get ends meet to take care of themselves and their families. So patriotism is no longer a part of us as Africans. Everybody is shifting to individualism. Just me. What makes me happy? What makes my family happy? Because unfortunately, when people are in power, they don't think about me. So why should I think about them? So that is the mindset recalibration that I think we all have a duty to play. So yes, whether Ghana is doing much better or not, I think that there is more to be done. We should look at our infrastructure. We should look at compensation when it comes to teachers' compensation. We should make them desire to go back to the classroom. I love to teach. We should let them desire to go back to the classroom and nurture the young ones and groom them. The socioeconomic issues, facing our countries as Africa is tough. And so you can't even feed yourself and feed your family. So you're not thinking about anybody else, So maybe I'll say these are a few of the points that I would like us to look at when we are talking about education. The fact that so many factors are contributing to the reason why people are not being educated. Although I know that education is the key to everybody's success in life. My father always said that the best legacy I can leave for you is to educate you. You can feed yourself once I have educated you. And my own countryman, Agri, says that when you educate, I'm a woman, so I'll always look at that angle. When you educate me as a woman, you've educated generations. So definitely, there is no way I would say that our young people should stay out of school. But the key thing should be looked at, the challenges, so that everybody would embrace, even if it's free education, everybody will embrace that there is quality. Parents are not going through a whole lot, even when it is free. And at the end of the day, we are getting the results. And one key thing I want to add to this particular remarks is that we should also focus more on technical education. We should focus more on skills training. And we should focus more on agriculture. When we try to learn from the West, we should remember that their system and that of Africa can never be the same. We have our unique resources that God has just blessed us with. Why won't we tap into these unique resources? When you live outside, you realize that the handyman's job, it's even more, rewarding when somebody comes to fix your sink at home. When somebody comes to repair your WC, the money they take from you, you ask yourself that they are making money. If they should take care of 10 homes in a week, they are making so much money. Women who are into braiding of hair, women who are into makeup, women who are into these nails that I have on my hands, they're making so much money on a daily basis, because definitely I want to look good. So I'll go for my makeup, I'll go for my hair, I'll go for my nails. So I am more skewed and focused on even hinting women like myself to learn a skill. Even if I don't use it, I would create job opportunities for others to come and use it. But at the end of the day, I understand the skill. So if you are not there, no one is indispensable. I can fit in and do the work. So I want us to drum more a bit on skills training, technical training, and focusing more on agriculture as Africa.
Fantastic. That's an aspect that we have sort of right from day one, even from my very first issue in January, I've been talking about technical education because we think it's an area that there isn't enough focus on at all, and it's something that can really help to bring out the numbers of other school children as well. Because if you have some people who are going the academic line and those who are going more vocational line, they'll take that option if that option is available, and they feel that that's what most suits them, instead of being out on the street and doing nothing.